stop. Before you grab another biscuit, you need to hear this. Recent investigations expose shocking truths about trusted brands hiding trans fats, inflammatory oils, and addiction-engineered ingredients behind wholesome packaging. What you're about to learn will change how you shop forever. If you care about your family's health, hit subscribe now, because this information could help you make smarter food choices. Number 10. Chips Ahoy. That familiar blue package sits in millions of pantries right now. Parents pack these in school lunches daily, convinced they're giving kids a harmless treat. The Nabisco name feels trustworthy. Here's what they're hiding. Ingredient labels and independent reports in recent years show the presence of partially hydrogenated oils in some formulations, the exact trans fats cardiologists warn about. The FDA tried banning these in 2018, but loopholes allow trace amounts that multiply with regular consumption. Grab a package and read it. Sugar appears 3 separate times in the first 7 ingredients: white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and dextrose. This isn't baking. This formulation is designed to maximize sweetness and flavor intensity, which research shows can increase cravings, especially in children. Those chocolate chips aren't real chocolate. Real chocolate contains cocoa butter. These use compound coating palm oil, artificial flavoring, and barely enough cocoa to legally use the word chocolate. Diets high in palm oil and processed fats have been linked to increased cardiovascular risk. For kids eating these daily, their brains are being programmed to crave artificially intense sweetness that natural foods can't match. For diabetics, the triple sugar combination spikes blood glucose dangerously. Cons: contains partially hydrogenated oils. Trans fats, linked to heart disease. 3 sugar types engineer addiction-level cravings in developing brains. Fake chocolate chips from palm oil damage cardiovascular health. Number 9. Keebler Club Crackers. Those crispy rectangles in the red box? That buttery flavor everyone pairs with cheese. Keebler elves smiling on the package, suggesting homemade quality. Here's the truth. 0 real butter exists in club crackers. That buttery taste comes entirely from soybean oil, palm oil, and natural flavor, a term the FDA allows for hiding dozens of chemical compounds. Testing in 2022 revealed these contain some of the highest sodium levels in the cracker category. A single serving packs 180 milligrams, but nobody stops there. Eat a normal amount with cheese, and you've consumed over 400 milligrams, nearly 20% of your daily limit from crackers alone. Here's what Keebler won't tell you. Those crackers contain TBHQ, a petroleum-based preservative, extending shelf life indefinitely. The FDA considers it safe in small amounts, but some animal studies have raised concerns about the long-term effects of high TBHQ exposure. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. Enriched flour, soybean oil, palm oil, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, salt, TBHQ. Nothing resembles actual crackers. For people managing high blood pressure, the sodium combined with inflammatory oils creates cardiovascular stress. Cons: no real butter, despite claims only cheap soybean and palm oils. Contains TBHQ, petroleum-based preservative, linked to immune dysfunction, high sodium, 400 milligrams plus per realistic serving. Spikes blood pressure. Number 8. Pepperidge Farm Milano cookies, those elegant dark chocolate cookies in the gold bag. The premium price, the European-sounding name suggesting old-world craftsmanship. Here's what most consumers don't realize. Pepperidge Farm is owned by Campbell's, manufactured in industrial facilities in Connecticut and Pennsylvania. Nothing about Milano cookies is European, except marketing illusion. Analysis in 2023 found Milano cookies contain palm oil as the 3rd ingredient, right after enriched flour and sugar. The highly processed vegetable oils are associated with increased inflammation markers in some studies. Look at that chocolate layer. The ingredient list includes vanillin, synthetic vanilla flavoring derived from petroleum that costs 1% of real vanilla. Premium cookies use real vanilla extract, not chemical substitutes. Each cookie contains 60 calories, but serving size is just 2 cookies. Eat the realistic amount, 5 to 6 cookies, and you've consumed 180 calories and 15 grams of fat, mostly from inflammatory palm oil. You're paying premium prices for industrial cookies with fancy packaging. The gold bag creates perceived value, while ingredients reveal cheap mass production. For anyone managing inflammation, palm oil works directly against healing. Cons: contains inflammatory palm oil as third ingredient despite premium pricing. Uses synthetic vanillin, petroleum-derived, instead of real vanilla extract. Misleading European branding hides American industrial production. Feeling betrayed by fake quality? Hit subscribe so you stop wasting money on industrial garbage disguised as artisan treats. 7 down. 3 shocking brands still coming. Number 7. Arnott's Shapes. Those iconic Australian crackers in bright boxes. BBQ, pizza, chicken crimpy flavors, defining Australian childhoods. Arnott's markets itself as Australia's biscuit since 1865. Then, 2016 happened. Campbell's changed recipes without warning. Australians revolted. Social media exploded. Petitions gathered 60,000 signatures demanding originals return. Campbell's denied changes, then admitted minor adjustments. The truth? Cost-cutting drove everything. New shapes contain more vegetable oil, less real cheese flavoring, cheaper spice blends. Blind taste tests confirmed they taste noticeably different, more artificial, less satisfying. Current analysis shows disturbing patterns. Shapes now contain multiple flavor enhancers. MSG flavor enhancer, 621. Disodium inosinate, 627. And disodium guanylate, 631. These compounds hyperstimulate taste receptors, making your brain crave more while masking inferior ingredients. Australian consumers paying premium prices expect national icon quality. They're getting cost-optimized industrial crackers with chemical flavor enhancement. For Australians with MSG sensitivity, new shapes trigger headaches, digestive issues, and inflammation they never caused before 2016. Cons: recipe changed by Campbell's in 2016, no longer original trusted formula. Contains 3 MSG-type flavor enhancers, masking cheaper ingredients, inflammatory oil blend, canola plus palm, despite premium Australian pricing. Number 6. Nabisco Ritz crackers. That iconic round cracker since 1934. The buttery taste, perfect cheese pairing, red and yellow box in every pantry. Ritz feels American, classic, trustworthy. Here's what changed. Nabisco, owned by Mondelez, moved Ritz production to Mexico in 2016 after laying off hundreds of Chicago workers. Quality control declined immediately. Ingredient sourcing changed. The crackers that built American lunchboxes now get manufactured with cheaper international ingredients and reduced oversight. Current Ritz contain partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil, a trans fat source that health organizations continue to warn consumers about. The FDA's 2018 ban included exceptions. Nabisco exploits fully. The buttery flavor isn't butter. It's inflammatory oils and artificial flavoring designed to mimic butter at fraction of the cost. Testing shows elevated sodium around 310 milligrams per serving. Eat Ritz with anything, and you've consumed 500 milligrams or more. The name survived. The recipe got gutted. That iconic box now contains offshore manufactured crackers using ingredients the original wouldn't recognize. For people with heart disease, every Ritz introduces cottonseed oil, trans fats, and excessive sodium. Cons: contains partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil, trans fats, despite 2018 FDA ban. Production moved to Mexico in 2016 with reduced quality control. Excessive sodium, 500 milligrams plus per realistic serving, damages cardiovascular health. Number 5. Oreos. Those black and white sandwich cookies. The twist, lick, dunk ritual transcending generations. Oreo is the world's best-selling cookie, available in over 100 countries. The evidence isn't disputed. Between 2015 and 2023, multiple studies analyzed Oreo's impact on children. The findings were devastating. Studies on ultra-processed foods show that sugar and fat combinations can activate brain reward pathways in ways similar to addictive substances. The sugar-fat combination activates dopamine pathways more intensely than either component alone. Regular consumption may influence long-term food preferences and eating habits. Let that sink in. Cocaine-level brain responses. In children, Nabisco spent decades perfecting this formulation. They didn't accidentally create the perfect cookie. These products are carefully formulated to maximize taste, appeal, and repeat consumption using food science, then marketed to children globally. Current Oreos contain high fructose corn syrup, sugar, soybean oil, palm oil, and cocoa processed with alkali. The creme filling isn't cream, it's hydrogenated vegetable oil whipped with sugar and artificial vanilla. No dairy, no cream, just oil and chemicals. Each cookie contains 53 calories, but serving size is 3 cookies. Eat realistic amounts, 6 to 8, and you've consumed 280 calories of pure processed sugar and inflammatory oils with zero nutrition. Cons: engineered to trigger cocaine-like dopamine responses in developing brains, contains both high fructose corn syrup and sugar for maximum addiction potential. Creme filling is hydrogenated oil and sugar, zero actual cream. Number 4. Girl Scout cookies. Those iconic boxes, the adorable uniforms, the annual tradition supposedly supporting young girls learning business skills. Girl Scout cookies feel wholesome, charitable, fundamentally good. Here's where your money goes. Only 50 to 75 cents per box reaches the local troop. The bulk goes to 2 massive for-profit corporations: Little Brownie Bakers, owned by Ferrero, and ABC Bakers, owned by Interbake Foods. These corporations profit massively while giving girls pennies. Both manufacturers use the same problematic ingredients found in cheap commercial cookies: palm oil, high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, and artificial flavors. Those Thin Mints, palm oil and peppermint flavoring. Samoas, coconut flavoring, caramel coloring, more palm oil. Nothing justifies the $5 to $6 price point. Testing shows Girl Scout cookies contain comparable trans fats, inflammatory oils, and sugar levels to gas station brands, but cost double. You're often paying premium prices for products that use similar ingredients to many mass-produced cookies. Those same $6 could be donated directly to troops where 100% reaches girls. Instead, Ferrero and Interbake pocket the majority. Cons: only 50 to 75 cents per $5. 6 box reaches girls' corporations' pocket rest. Same cheap ingredients, palm oil, trans fats, HFCS, as dollar store brands. Exploits nonprofit branding to charge premium for bottom-tier quality. Number 3. Tams. Australia's most beloved chocolate biscuit. The Tams Slam Ritual. The export pride when Australians introduce foreigners to their national treasure. Tams represent Australian identity. Then, Arnott's, owned by Campbell's, changed everything. Between 2016 and 2022, quiet recipe modifications happened without announcement. Australian consumers noticed immediately the chocolate coating felt different. Cream filling tasted artificial. Overall quality declined noticeably. Current Tim Tams contain palm oil as primary ingredient in both biscuit and chocolate coating. The original recipe used cocoa butter exclusively. Campbell's replaced expensive cocoa butter with cheap palm oil to boost margins while keeping prices high. The chocolate coating now uses compound chocolate, a mixture of palm oil, cocoa powder, sugar, and emulsifiers designed to mimic real chocolate. Compound chocolate costs 40% less than real chocolate. Your taste buds know the difference. Each Tim Tam contains 100 calories and 5 grams of fat, nearly all from palm oil. Consume realistic 5 to 6 Tim Tams, and you've eaten 500 calories of inflammatory oils and refined sugar with minimal cocoa. For Australians trusting Tim Tams based on decades of national pride, Campbell's betrayed that trust completely. Cons: recipe secretly changed original cocoa butter, replaced with cheap palm oil. Compound chocolate coating, palm oil, plus cocoa powder instead of real chocolate. Campbell's ownership prioritized profit margins over Australian treasure quality. Number 2. Belvita breakfast biscuits. Those rectangular biscuits promising sustained energy for your morning. The wholesome packaging showing grains and suggesting nutritious breakfast alternatives. Mondelez markets Belvita as the intelligent choice for busy adults. This might be one of the most misunderstood products on this list. Belvita positions itself as health food, nutritious morning energy, while containing nearly identical ingredients to cookies you'd never consider eating for breakfast. Independent analysis reveals the truth. Each Belvita biscuit contains refined wheat flour, sugar, palm oil, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial flavors. The whole grains, listed proudly, make up barely 20% of ingredients. the rest is processed junk. Despite promises of slow-release energy, Belvita spikes blood sugar almost as rapidly as white bread. The minimal fiber can't offset the refined flour and sugar combination. Your insulin responds exactly like it would to candy. Each 4-biscuit serving contains 230 calories, 8 grams of fat, mostly from palm oil, and 11 grams of sugar. This is closer in nutrition profile to a sweet snack than a traditional balanced breakfast. For diabetics trusting the breakfast framing, Belvita is particularly dangerous. You're consuming high glycemic processed foods while believing you're managing blood sugar responsibly. Cons: disguised as health food despite nearly identical ingredients to cookies. Blood sugar spike comparable to white bread contradicts slow energy claims. Only 20% whole grains, despite prominent wholesome packaging imagery. Number 1. Anzac biscuits. Commercial brands. Sacred Australian and New Zealand tradition. Originally sent by families to soldiers in World War I, the name itself is protected by law. You cannot use Anzac without permission. These biscuits represent sacrifice, national identity, remembrance. Commercial manufacturers exploit that reverence cynically. Brands like Unibic and supermarket versions use protected Anzac branding, while producing industrial junk that insults the original recipe and its meaning. Traditional Anzac biscuits contain just 5 ingredients: rolled oats, flour, sugar, butter, and golden syrup. Those simple ingredients could survive long voyages to troops overseas. They were made with love, rationed ingredients, genuine care for soldiers. Modern commercial Anzac biscuits contain rolled oats, wheat flour, sugar, vegetable oil, palm and canola, golden syrup, glucose syrup, high fructose corn syrup, raising agents, salt, and artificial flavors. Butter, the heart of traditional recipes, replaced entirely by cheap palm oil. Walk into any Woolworths or Kohl's during Anzac Day. Those commercial Anzac biscuits contain less than 30% oats compared to traditional recipes that were predominantly oats. The rest is cheap filler, inflammatory oils, and excessive sugar hiding behind protected military symbolism. Cons: exploits protected military heritage for profit using insulting formulations. Traditional butter replaced with palm oil betrays original sacrifice-era recipe. Less than 30% oats, despite oats being primary traditional ingredient. Industry truth. What they're not telling you. Here's what the biscuit industry desperately hides. Those unrealistic serving sizes, 2 cookies, 3 crackers, are deliberately set low, so nutrition labels look acceptable. Real consumption triples every concerning number. Sugar appears under multiple names: dextrose, corn syrup, glucose, so it doesn't dominate ingredient lists. Natural flavor hides hundreds of chemicals, including petroleum derivatives. Palm oil costs 40% less than butter, while contributing to environmental concerns in some regions. 3 corporations, Campbell's, Mondelez, Ferrero, control everything. Large companies invest heavily in food science to optimize sugar, fat, and salt combinations that increase product appeal and repeat purchases. Your cravings aren't accidental. They're carefully designed product strategies to maximize consumer engagement. Solution: what you should do instead. Go to your pantry right now. If ingredients list partially hydrogenated oils, palm oil in top 5, multiple sugars, or TBHQ, consider reducing or replacing them with simpler ingredient alternatives. Make your own biscuits. Real recipes need just 6 ingredients: flour, butter, sugar, eggs, baking powder, salt. Takes 30 minutes. Freeze large batches for 3 months. Support local bakeries using real butter and vanilla. Yes, they cost more. Real ingredients should cost more. Read ingredient lists, never front packaging. If it exceeds 10 items or includes unpronounceable chemicals, put it back. Bake with your kids. Teach them to recognize real ingredients early. Your wallet votes for the food system you want. Conclusion: from Chips Ahoy's highly processed formulations influencing childhood eating habits, to commercial Anzac biscuits desecrating military heritage, from Girl Scout cookies exploiting charity, to Belvita disguising dessert as health food, we've highlighted common industry practices that many consumers are unaware of. You now understand their playbook: serving size manipulation, ingredient splitting, natural flavor loopholes, palm oil everywhere, addiction engineering targeting children's brains. Make your own. Read ruthlessly. Support local bakeries. Make informed choices with your wallet. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe for weekly food industry exposés. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay healthy, and keep rising.